Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Last night, the Yankees entered the game 69-1 when leading after 8. Well, now they're 69-2. The Tigers with two big home runs in the ninth inning last night. Martinez and Goodrum, and the Tigers took game 1 of the series. It is a cloudy, overcast night tonight. Welcome to the Bronx. We're at Yankee Stadium, game 2 in this series, featuring the Tigers and the New York Yankees. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us. Tigers taking on the Yanks again here tonight. Rod, it's been a trying season. We all know that, but last night was about as fun as a night we've had at the ballpark in a long, long time. It was great to see.
No doubt about that. And I went down to the Tigers clubhouse last night. They had the music blasting. Ron Gardenhire was walking around with this huge smile on his face, and he said to me, how about that? He enjoyed it, and his team enjoyed it, and Tigers fans enjoyed it thoroughly last night, that W.
Well, now, one of the big reasons the Tigers won that ball game last night, Nico Goodrum. Nico, a big night last night, 4 hits, but maybe more than that, the energy he brought to the team.
You know, there's a reason why Nico Goodrum was the 71st player chosen in the 2010 draft, second-round draft choice. I had not seen Nico Goodrum play with this kind of energy in last night's game. We've seen flashes of this, but not this total package. He went big fly. That was his last at-bat of the game. But what he did before that was incredible. Couple of infield singles. He also stole a base. He also moved up to third base on a wild pitch. He was just all over the place in last night's game. One of the better games I've seen Nico Goodrum play. And if you look at his ranks here, really, I mean, take a look at the batting average and the hard hit rate and the doubles and the steals. There's been very few young rookies in the majors that have been better than Nico Goodrum this season, and I'm looking forward to watching Nico go out there again today and do some magic.
All right, now, speaking of rookies, we heard about these two guys the Yankees have, and we saw those two guys last night, as good as any pair of rookies in the league.
Well, they're legit. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Let's first talk about the third baseman, Miguel Andujar. This guy is one of the best rookies we've seen in a long, long time. He paces all rookies in home runs and also RBIs. And one thing about this young man, he's hitting 300. So the younger Andujar, he drives the ball down the left field line. He'll also go down the right field line. He also gets big hits. This guy gets clutch knocks for them, so it's no issue for them. And then when you start talking about the other young guy on the team, he's the shortstop by trade, but he's playing second base most of the time, but playing shortstop now because Didi is on the disabled list. He went opposite field last night over the 385 sign. He's also hit a ball 440 feet this year. These guys are two dynamic players that are playing right in the middle of the postseason race for this particular team, the New York Yankees, and they're batting right in the middle of the batting order. It's amazing what these two young men have been able to accomplish so far.
Pretty good indeed. We've got game 2 in the series minutes away, but right now we go to the Call Sam Studios. We check in with John Keating. Sports Detroit is brought to you by Kroger. Visit Kroger.com for great deals, digital coupons, and more. Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. And by Jeep. Hurry in and get a great deal of the Jeep Labor Day sales event. Back here in the Bronx, where the Tigers and Yankees are getting set to do battle here tonight. Cloudy, overcast, 72 degrees our game time temperature. A little bit of rain in the area earlier. That has seemingly moved out, and we are ready for baseball here this evening in Game 2 of this series. The starting lineup for the Tigers tonight, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It'll be Jeimer Candelario in the leadoff slot for the Tigers. Jim Ducey will bat number 2 tonight. Then Castellanos and Victor Martinez, who had a big game last night. Nico, a 4-hit game last evening, followed by Rodriguez, McCann, Jones, and Dawel Lugo, making his second major league start. And they are facing the very talented Luis Severino, presented tonight by MGM Grand Detroit.
And Luis Severino leads the majors in wins, and he's also one of your hardest throwing pitchers in all of baseball. His fastball averages 97 miles an hour. He's also in the Cy Young conversation with that power fastball, that wipeout slider, and he also has a power changeup at about 90 miles an hour. Let's take a look at the starting defense tonight behind Luis Severino, the talented pitcher. And Gardner in left, Aaron Hicks in center field. Neil Walker moves from second base to right field tonight. Up the middle, they've got Torres and Torres. On the corners, they've got Andujar and Voit, and Austin Romine is the starting catcher tonight.
There's Aaron Boone. His club was stunned last night after the Tigers scored 3 in the 9th inning off Dellin Betances. He raced a 2-run deficit and won that ball game 8-7. First year as the Yankees skipper, 84-50 this year for the Yanks.
Only the second time this year the Yankees have lost the game after leading after 8 innings.
Severino ready to go to work. Candelario leads it off, and here we go. The first pitch is lined to center field. Hicks coming on, and he'll make the play.
Talking to Lloyd McClendon before the game today, he said his team would be very aggressive tonight against Severino. He loves his fastball. He's going to throw you a lot of fastballs, and he's hoping his guys can hit the ball as efficiently as they did yesterday against Jay Happ, the left-hander, who also threw a lot of fastballs.
Here is Jim Ducey in the number 2 slot, playing first base tonight with the right-hander on the hill. And the Deuce looks at a strike, 0-1. 2 out of 6 on the road trip for Ducey. Tigers' first and only trip into Yankee Stadium this year. Severino missing at 96, low and away, 1-1. Ron Gardenhire had a huge smile on his face on the field last night after that victory. It was a win that you could tell, Rod, that meant a little bit more than just the one win in the standings.
No question about that. I mean, walking into the clubhouse after the game, I mean, the energy that they played with, and you can see every guy's on that top step. That's just what happens when you come here to the new Yankee Stadium. That clubhouse was fired up last night after that win in last night's game.
Here's the 1-2, and Ducey takes high, 2 balls and 2 strikes as Severino airs that one out at 98.
I don't know what the numbers are, but the win probability for the Tigers in winning that game after the 8th inning and draw it down by a couple of runs probably had to be, what, 99% loss?
Yeah, pretty low,
Way up
sure.
there.
Fly ball left field. It's going to be playable for Brett Gardner, and there are 2 gone. Well, they did it last night. Can they do it again tonight? If the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the Tiger Box to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. 2 gone now for Castellanos. Nicholas 1 out of 4 last night, scored a couple of runs. Here is the Bernstein advantage with Castellanos up there. Nicholas, how about these numbers against a very talented pitcher?
6 for 12. That would be 500. And check out the OPS. It's over 1,000 for Nicholas Castellanos versus Luis.
It'll dart low and in at 96 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Severino is one of those guys that will be throwing 97 miles an hour in the very first inning, and he'll also be throwing 97, 98 in the 8th inning.
Ooh, he reached back there, and Castellanos now is down to the count.
Real nice arm speed on this changeup thrown by Severino at 90 miles an hour. It is a hard changeup.
Pull the string on Nicholas. Now the 1-2. Severino is only 24 years old. He has rounded into an ace at the major league level with 17 victories. In search of a 1-2-3 first inning. And he'll get it. Swing and a miss. Castellanos down on strikes. And the Tigers go in order. We go to the bottom of the first. And here comes Jordan Zimmerman. The commissioner, Rob Manfred, is in the house tonight watching the Tigers and Yanks. And for the Tigers, it'll be Jordan Zimmerman, presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Jordan comes in 6-6 with a 4.38 ERA. He's been pretty good in his career against the New York Yankees. Overall, he's got a fastball that tops out at about 93 miles an hour. Jordan also has a nice little slider. He's got a curveball and a changeup that he's been throwing quite a bit of lately.
It'll be Brett Gardner to lead things off for the Yankees. Gardner was lower in the lineup last night in game 1. In fact, he was 9th. He is elevated to number 1 tonight with the righty on the hill. And Gardner looks at a strike. .237 hitter this year, but he's got power, 11 homers, and he will steal a base if you let him. Slap the other way and out of play, 0-2. Tigers trying to get Jordan Zimmerman to level out a little bit. He's had a good start, a bad start, a good start, a bad start. He was roughed up for 5 runs in 6 innings by the White Sox his last time out.
The long ball has sort of been the Achilles heel the last number of outings for Jordan Zimmerman. Has to make sure that he works ahead.
And he got Gardner looking, 1 gone. Here is the rest of the Yankees lineup tonight, presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Gardner, Stanton, Hicks in the top 3 spots on Duhar batting cleanup. Voit, Torres, Walker, Romine, and Torres round out the starting 9 for the Yanks. Giancarlo Stanton stands in, DHing again tonight for New York. 33 homers on the year, including 1 last night for Stanton.
Of those 33 home runs that Stanton has, 10 of those have gone the opposite way.
That'll miss inside, 1-2. Stanton joined the 300 homer club last night. Swing and a miss, and Zim starts out with a pair of punch-outs. 2 gone.
McLaren Health Plan brings you the Tigers starting defensive alignment behind Jordan Zimmerman tonight. In the outfield, they've got Nico Goodrum, who gets to start in left field. They've got Jones in center. Castellanos is in right field. Up the middle, they've got the young rookies. They've got Lugo and Rodriguez. Candelario, also a rookie, at third base, and a Ducey on the other side at first base. James McCann, the starting catcher. How about Jordan tonight? He's on one, isn't he? A fastball right by Stanton there.
So far, so good. Here is Aaron Hicks. Ball 1 to Hicks. 22 home runs on the year. Hicks in the ball game last night. 2 singles, 2 runs scored. 2-0.
Aaron Hicks has a very good eye. He's walked quite a few times this year. As a matter of fact, he leads the Yankees in walks. Very seldom does he leave the strike zone.
He's gone to 3-0 now on Hicks. Andujar waiting on deck.
There's something else regarding Hicks. Usually when left-handers love the ball down, but Hicks loves the ball up in the strike zone.
In there, a strike called. Zimmerman has only 1 walk in his last 4 starts.
It's pretty good.
So as we have mentioned over and over, he's one of those guys that really does not beat himself for the base on balls. The long ball has been a different story, though. And another strike. Hicks again was on his way to first and called back by Nick Lentz. Nick Lentz telling the Yankee dugout stop. A little bit of chirping going on. Driven deep to right center field. That ball going way back. Track, wall, and caught. Jacoby to the wall in right center to haul it in. We'll go to the second. Victor Martinez, big night last night. He'll get it started.
DTE Energy, know your own power, and Victor Martinez had his power on display. He homered twice in last night's game, 1 batting right-handed, and then he had a huge home run in the 9th inning. That tied the score against Dylan Betances. What a night for Victor Martinez and for that lucky Tigers fan who caught that home run ball.
And I understand that fan wanted to negotiate.
Yeah, that fan did. When I walked down to the Tigers clubhouse after the game, he was outside the clubhouse and he was, trying to barter a little something for that baseball. They told him that we'll give you a jersey. We just don't have an extra jersey for Victor to sign right now to give to you. And the fan wasn't having any of that. He said, well, I want my jersey now. But I think they kind of figured it out. They gave him a baseball. They gave him a signed bat. And they're going to send him a jersey.
Slap the other way and through. And Vmart, as he has done a lot this year, singles the opposite way.
Is it just me, or does it look like Victor, since he announced that he was going to retire at the end of the year, he just got a tremendous amount of peace about his game, and his heartbeat right now is awfully slow, and he's just swinging a magic wand right now.
Well, it's not just you. It seemingly is the truth. He has really come on in the second half. He had struggled mightily going into the All-Star break, but is a different guy. Tigers have their first hit, and here is Nico Goodrum. Nico looks at ball one.
Nico had an outstanding night last night with the bat and his legs.
4 out of 5 for Goodrum in the ballgame, and he'll slice this one to center field. Hicks will come in to make the play. One gone. Stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll be selecting the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's. There were a boatload of candidates last night.
Who eventually got it? Victor?
I don't know. I didn't hear. Nico or Victor probably had to be at the top of that list.
Should have gave it to the entire team last night.
Yeah.
Last night was one of those team wins.
Ronnie Rodriguez looks at a ball inside.
Ronnie has shown us some surprising power. He has homered 3 times in his last 5 games.
Being told Victor Martinez won the Player of the Game last night. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ronnie. So what is the best case scenario now for Ronnie? He has a really good September, let's say, goes into spring camp, and that should elevate his standings a little bit.
Ronnie will go into spring training next year fighting for one of the roster spots. There's no question about that. They have a pretty good idea of what Ronnie can do. He really has nothing else to prove in AAA. He hit .338 down there. So the key for him is to come to spring training in great shape. He'll probably play some winter ball. So a lot of those kids from Latin America that are young, they always come to spring training. They're ahead of most kids that live in the United States because they played baseball all winter. And if that's the case, Ronnie Rodriguez will have a legitimate chance of making the 25-man roster at possibly shortstop.
Severino now with the 1-2. Ronnie waves and misses. He went fishing, and there are 2 gone.
Severino is a tough assignment. Already his second strikeout. He punched out Castellanos on a 90-mile-per-hour changeup. He throws a slider here to Rodriguez to finish him off. But with 11 strikeouts, when he gets 11, he's going to get them before the season is over, Mario. He will become only the 3rd Yankee in history to have 2 200 strikeout seasons. I saw that, and I'm saying that can't be true.
I read that, and I thought it was a misprint. I had to double check it, but it's true. I mean, the only 2 are Guidry and Cone.
Cone and Guidry. And he would be the 3rd once he gets 9 more strikeouts.
McCann swings through a letter-high 98-mile-an-hour heater. Let's look up the numbers on McCann. I seem to remember him having decent success in this park, and he is well over 300 here at Yankee Stadium, 345 to be exact. Last night, though, was just 1 for 5. Leadoff single by Martinez, still at first base with 2 outs. Here's the 1-1. Chopped foul at third base. Severino, the last time he faced the Tigers, struck out 10 in his start. Back in June at Comerica, went 8 innings. Daniel Norris, good to see him back. And Daniel's scheduled to go tomorrow. In game 3 of the series, I wasn't sure he'd come back this year. Here he is.
Well, he's 100% healthy. That's what Ron Gardenhire told us before the game today. That growing problem that he had surgically repaired is no longer an issue. His velocity has come back up as well. He made a start in AAA the other day, which was a good start. And there's no restrictions on his pitch count, Ron Gardenhire said as well. Going to let him go as long as he wants to go, or the Yankees have something to say about it.
Here's the 2-2. Banged it off his foot, and McCann now will dance around the box.
Severino already has thrown several changeups to the right-handed batters here tonight. He threw 2 to Nicholas Castellanos, and he struck Nick out on 1. And he's thrown McCann a couple of changeups too. Take a look at the grip here on the changeup, and he just kind of turns it over, and he throws this thing at 90 miles an hour, and you saw the tailing action on that pitch.
A lot of movement
and velocity.
Severino, as the season is wearing on, not striking out quite as many as you look at his pitch breakdown. He had a K rate of about 12 per 9 in his first 14 starts. It is under 10 now, but still very effective.
He really hasn't pitched all that effectively either after the All-Star break. His numbers have ticked up considerably since the second half began.
Well, I will say this, going into the postseason with the division they're in, and obviously they'll probably be a wild card with Boston winning the East. They're going to need him to be at his best in both seasons.
Yeah, and the one thing that Aaron Boone will have the luxury of doing, because more than likely they're going to get one of the wild cards, they'll be able to rest Severino down the stretch just to make sure that he's healthy for that wild card game.
3-2 on McCann.
Aaron Boone, nice conversation with Aaron today. One of your better guys in all of baseball.
From the broadcast booth to the dugout. Of course, Boone had a lengthy playing career as well. Ray Boone, Bob Boone, Brett Boone, Aaron Boone. A lot of Boones, 3 generations. And he got him, strike 3. McCann caught looking. 3 strikeouts now for Severino. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Tonight, the BP Brighter Picture will focus on the Tigers outfield, and their throwing arms have run pretty good this year.
Outstanding this year. Leonis Martin had quite a few of those before he was traded to the Cleveland Indians, but Nicholas Castellanos, he paces the squad, and you can look at overall the body of work by the outfielders, they've thrown the baseball very well. 33 outfield assists.
Miguel Andujar leads it off here in the second. Andujar, Voit, and Torres.
They had 2 more assists in last night's game. And Mikey Montuk had 1, and Nicholas Castellanos.
Do you think the Tigers outfield being disrespected a bit? A lot of teams seem to run on them quite a bit.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's some teams out there that think that they can run on the Tigers outfielders, but the Tigers outfielders have been up for the task. Dave Clark, who handles the outfielders, works every day with just about every guy, making sure guys are throwing to the bases, making sure guys are throwing the ball on the line.
Fly to right field for Castellanos. 1 gone in the second. 4 straight retired now by Zim. That'll bring up Luke Voit. Luke looks the part, doesn't he? He's got that shirt unbuttoned.
Yep.
And he killed one last night. It was a 2-run shot, which it seemed was going to give them the win. It came in the 7th.
You can tell that Luke hangs out in the weight room just a little bit.
Ball 1 to Voit. Former St. Louis Cardinal.
Wearing number 45. Didn't Big Daddy Prince, Cecil Fielder used to wear 45 here?
Sure did.
Believe he did. And Voit has a 7-game hit streak as we speak.
Check swing roller back to the mound. That'll be an easy play for Zim. 2 up, 2 down here in the second, and now Gleyber Torres. Tigers and Yankees 2-2 in the season series. The Tigers haven't beaten the Yanks in a season series in a while. 2011, the last time the Tigers won a season series. Torres, fine looking rookie. 3 more hits last night, including an opposite field homer.
He's playing shortstop these days because their starting shortstop Didi Gregorius is on the disabled list, but for the most part he's played second base all season. But he is a shortstop by trade. He was a shortstop in the Chicago Cubs organization before he was traded to New York.
Ground ball left side, ranging right is Rodriguez. Ronnie throws one in the dirt, but it's picked by Adduci on the backhand to end the inning. When we come back, we'll chat with Al Avila. He will join us in the booth to talk about some call-ups. Score Tigers and Yanks game 2 in the series. It'll be Jacoby Jones to get things started now for the Tigers against Severino, and it's a pleasure to be joined by the general manager of the Tigers, Mr. Al Avila. And Al, Rod and I were talking about the ball game last night. I'm not sure we had as much fun as we had last night at the park. I assume that you had a big smile on your face post game in the locker room as well.
It was great. It was really an incredible finish to the game. It was a great game all the way around. The ball was flying out of here like crazy. I haven't seen the ball fly out of a stadium like this in a long time.
You know, I'll talk about Nico Goodrum for a moment, because we've seen some flashes of him playing a fast game. But last night, for me, that's the first time I really saw him with that kind of energy. It looked like he was on a mission last night.
Well, Nico's basically he's a five-tool guy. He's got power. He can hit. He can run. He can field. He's got a good arm. You know, he's got all the tools that you look for in a baseball player. He's getting an opportunity this year for the first time in his career to play on a regular basis, and he's shown what he can do. But like any young player, he's going to have his struggles like he has had throughout this season, up and down. But he's showing some spurts of really great baseball and great hitting, and you see the power. He's got tremendous power.
Now, you've got a lot of young players in the lineup again tonight, and we're seeing Dawel Lugo, who is called up. We talk about Ronnie Rodriguez, and we talk about, Jamer and a lot of the young guys, Nico in the lineup. But how important is September compared to maybe next spring when you guys start to really hone in on your roster for 2019? These guys have a great opportunity here in September, but how much weight do you place on them?
Well, it's always good to take a look, but in our case, we're looking at the game yesterday. Here we are in Yankee Stadium playing against the mighty New York Yankees, and we got an entire infield of rookies.
Yeah.
Candelario, first-year rookie, Ronnie Rodriguez, Nico Goodrum, Dawel Lugo making his major league debut. The entire infield is made up of rookie ball players. Jacoby Jones, by all practical means, is a rookie. Mikey Matuk is just 1 year, into his, the two veteran guys is Nick Castellanos at 26 and McCann behind the plate. So we were just in amazement just watching our team saying, wow, we got young really fast. So that in itself is tremendous. And then of course now in September we'll have a trickle of other couple guys, and we'll just continue to evaluate. And we've just been evaluating the whole year.
Al, you talk about the young guys on the field, but you're responsible for those young guys on the field. I mean, you had to trade away some of your veteran players last year, and some of these players that we're watching are guys that you got in return. So you and your staff have to be elated with some of the talent you guys were able to get back in some of those trades that you made last year.
Yeah, we're pretty happy, and we're really happy too with some of the minor league guys. We were looking at the game yesterday in Erie, and you got Isaac Paredes yesterday with 6 RBIs. He had one of the biggest days of his career, his minor league career, last night in Erie. And obviously when we brought up Lugo, it forced our hand, and we brought up Willie Castro to go to Toledo, and they're trying to get they're going for a playoff spot, and Willie Castro now is thrown into that situation. Yesterday he didn't get any hits, but he had 2 sacrifice flies in his attempts, playing shortstop there every day. So you're looking at these things as they come along every day. Those young guys in the minor leagues, the young guys we have here at the major league level, at some point, hopefully in the next couple of years, that perfect storm will come in, and we'll have a good young nucleus of players up here, competing for a championship. And of course, as we know, we're going to have to add to that as we go.
Dawel Lugo here with a base hit in the third. We're chatting with Al Avila. And Al, for so many years, people talk about, the Tigers have a lot of pitching prospects. They just don't have any position playing prospects. But now, you look down on the farm, you mentioned Paredes, Lugo is up here. You've got guys like Daz Cameron and Rogers, the catcher, down there. So you're starting to, I think, see a little bit more bulk in position players now.
Well, and that's been by design. We've been trying to bulk up in some position players. We definitely had a void there. So we feel pretty good about our pitching. We always knock on wood because you never can have enough pitching. But we're at a point right now where, we've been adding some of this, and they're progressing, as we speak, up the ladder. And there's some guys down even in the lower minor leagues, like that we drafted this year, like a Parker Meadows, that's been impressing quite a bit, and Cody Clemens. So we're pretty happy about that too. So we've got them coming along, and we just got to be patient, take it a day at a time, a year at a time, and until it comes, to fruition up here.
You know, Al, with some of your call-ups that will show up possibly in the next few days, do you have to proceed with caution because of that Toledo team possibly making a playoff spot, so you might not move as many guys initially as the guys that will come here at some point in time?
That's a good point, and that's true. We're trying to help Toledo get to that playoff spot. You know, it's been a while since they've been in the playoffs. It's been a battle. Obviously, you know, we have most of their players up here now. If these guys were all down there, I'm sure they would have already cruised in because they were in first place for most of the year until we started needing some of these guys. Even Lugo, you know, we were hopeful that we didn't have to bring him up until after the Toledo season was over. But, you know, the injury to Iglesias obviously pushed that you know, further earlier than we would have liked.
We are starting to see some movement now with the young pitching talent that you do have down in the minor leagues. Matt Manning elevated, had a great start at Erie, and of course Spencer Turnbull has been elevated as well in the minor leagues. How do you kind of, I guess, gauge it's kind of a song, a dance, a little massaging here of knowing when these guys are ready, yet you want to get them to the big league level, but you just can't jump the gun? I mean, how do you kind of massage that whole thing?
Well, that's the beauty about September. You know, September there's really no pressure, and so you can bring a guy up without any expectations, and all you're trying to do is get him a little experience for a little bit. And sometimes they don't even have to play. We've brought, years past, we've brought players up just to hang out with the team for the month,
yeah,
and get that exposure, and maybe, you know, play them a little bit here and there. Give a few innings to a pitcher here and there. So that's the beauty of September. It's more for the experience, so they can get to experience that for the first time. So if you do have to bring them up the following year, it's not the first time, it'll be their second time around.
I noticed before the season last year, you guys kind of beefed up your minor league staff as well. You've added a lot of staff members. Is that because you have so many younger players that you want to make sure you provided the best teaching possible for them?
Yeah, we've beefed up the minor league system. We've added a coach at every level. We added a full-time trainer at every level. You know, we've enhanced obviously the nutrition. We were spending, you know, thousands of dollars more on each club on nutrition more. So the technology that we have now in the minor leagues is far better. I was just talking to Dave Littlefield, who's here with me tonight, that, you know, we're actually doing shifts in the minor leagues, and we're teaching players where they have to cover in defensive coverages in these shifts, so when they come up here, it's not brand new to them. So there's a lot of advances that we've brought into the minor leagues that you know, has worked out for us so far.
Jim Aducey hitting here with 2 outs, and well, you do have a champion in the organization. The Gulf Coast League Tigers won. You know, we kind of chuckle at that because it is rookie ball, but you're kind of setting a precedence for these guys their first year in pro ball to win. I mean, that's a good thing.
No, it is. And, you know, Brian Pena was the manager of that club, and we had to convince him to retire as a player. And he's so happy because, you know, obviously his first gig as a manager, and they win the championship. So we had some pretty good young players there, and he did a great job. He brings a lot of energy. He's a great motivator, as you know. And they just had a ball. We still have a chance with Toledo getting into the playoffs. West Michigan still has a chance of getting in the playoffs. And Lakeland, unfortunately, they've been rained out 3 doubleheaders in a row. So
really?
I don't know if they're going to be able to make up the games to be able to get back into the playoffs. So that's been a little bit of a disappointment with those rainouts.
Al, we appreciate it. Thanks for spending some time with us. Best of luck in September, and we'll see you down the line.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
That's Al Avila. Yankee Stadium. Time now for the Thrive Inside the Numbers. You know, since Aaron Judge has gone down, he's been out with a broken bone in his arm. Their right field has not done all that good.
No, you can take a look at their ranks. 30th in average, on base percentage 29, and slugging percentage 29th. So they have just not been getting it done in right field, and that's why they made the trade yesterday to acquire the former MVP in the National League, Andrew McCutchen, from the San Francisco Giants, so he can play right field until Judge gets healthy.
So the Yankees here in the third had Neil Walker leading off, and he cuts and misses. 1-1. Good stuff there by Al Avila, kind of giving us an overview where the organization stands right now. And not really quite sure who's coming up here in the September call-ups. I think Kristen Stewart has certainly been mentioned a lot. He's probably a lot.
Yeah, he's a possibility. I don't think they're going to call a lot of guys up because a lot of the guys are already here.
Yeah.
And some of the guys that are here, Mario, Ron Gardenhire, really has to take a look at these guys in the month of September moving forward to see if they're going to be a piece of the puzzle in 2018.
Walker, Romine, and Torreyes, the bottom three facing Zim. That's line towards center field. Jacoby is on the run.
Jacoby is a tremendous center fielder. He gets great jumps, takes tremendous routes, and he makes all the plays out there in center field. I mean, take a look at the quick jump that he gets on this line drive off the bat of Walker. I mean, he's lickety split. He's taking a direct line to get to that ball.
The catcher, Austin Romine, stands in. Romine having a pretty good year by his standards. He's always been a backup, but a career high 9 home runs this year for Romine. The brother of former Tiger Andrew Romine. Fouled away 0-2. 7 up, 7 down against Jordan Zimmerman so far in this game. Zim has had good numbers in his career against the Yankees, a 3.09 ERA, a 3-1 record. Pulled to third base, Candy down to a knee. To his feet to throw him out. Candelario, another sparkling play at third base.
And Tigers flashing the leather in the same fashion that they flashed the leather in last night's game. They played a really good game on the defensive end, and Candy was a big part of some of those defensive plays last night. If you want to look at that play by Candy, you can see he gets on the balls of his feet, and because he's on the balls of his feet, he's able to move quickly to the right. He left his feet, got up, and threw accurately to Jim Adduci on the other side.
Here is Ronald Torreyes, and believe it or not, of all the guys in their lineup, they can't get him out.
I'm surprised he didn't swing at that first pitch. This dude be swinging, man. He don't stay up there very long. It'll only be a couple pitches. He'll be gone.
Right back to the mound. Bobbled there by Zim. He'll stay with it, and his throw in time. Got him by half a step.
Nice job of not panicking. Stick a fork in it, Zim. It's the first at-bat confrontation between Severino and Castellanos. Castellanos came in hitting .500 against Severino, but he threw that fastball up and he came back with a 91-mile-per-hour changeup to finish off Castellanos. As a matter of fact, he threw Nicholas 2 changeups in that 5-pitch sequence, both at 90 miles an hour.
And Nicholas cues one off the end of the bat to the second baseman, Torres. One pitch, one gone here in the fourth. We'll bring up Victor. Martinez a single to get things rolling in the second. Tigers cannot advance him though. Strike called on V-Mart.
And Yankees have the shift on Victor Martinez. They're playing him to pull. Even though Severino throws 98 miles an hour, they still think Victor's going to pull that ball right into the teeth of their defense. You see 3 players on the right side.
Victor went the other way for a base hit his last time up.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's the 26th time Victor's gone the opposite way for a base hit this year.
So then why does the data still say pull, pull, pull?
Who knows?
The 2-1.
Because it swings like that.
Here's Chevrolet's most dependable player, and it's going to be V-Mart, most RBIs by a switch hitter in Tigers history. He has passed Billy Rogel at 532.
Tony Clark and Carlos Guillen also on that list.
Or as Carlos liked to pronounce it, Carlos Guillen. 2-2 on V-Mart. Slap the other way again on a line, and it's going to be a run down in the corner by Brett Gardner. 2 gone now, and time for a game break. John Keating. Well, I tell you what, the Nationals, man, they were my pick to run away with that.
What a disappointing
division.
Season they've had.
I think we did a thing on the pregame show around June or so, and I kept saying, don't worry, folks, it's going to be Washington running away with that division.
They never got it together.
Wrong.
Never got it together.
Strike call now. 1 ball in, 1 strike on Goodrum. Nico slicing 1 foul. He lined to center field in the second inning. Tigers have hit some line drives here against Severino. Candy, V-Mart, Nico, Jones. They have some hard hit balls tonight. He's up there hacking.
And one thing about Severino, and when you're going up against him, you know for the most part he's going to be out there for a while. And very seldom does this young man not pitch 7 innings. Pedro Martinez is the one that really talked Severino into throwing his changeup a lot more. Of course, Pedro had a great fastball and a good changeup. And since Severino started throwing that changeup to the righties and the lefties, it's made his life easier.
Hammer to right field. Nico has hit a line drive out of here. It's another home run for Nico Goodrum, a 2-out solo shot. And Nico had the game winner last night, and he's put the Tigers on the board here tonight. 15th of the season for Goodrum, and it got out in a hurry.
We've been talking a lot about the rookies on the New York Yankees team. That would be Andujar and Gleyber Torres, and rightfully so. But our very own Nico Goodrum, man, has he been balling. He got him a pitch right down the heart of the plate, and it jumped out of the ballpark. Might have been a changeup. He killed it.
RBI 43, another extra base hit for Goodrum, giving the Tigers an early lead.
Al Avila called Nico Goodrum a 5-tool player when he was with us just an inning ago. That means he's got really good speed. He's got a good arm, a good defender. He can hit for average and power. And we've seen all those tools in this series.
The Tigers now have 9 runs in the series. All of them have come via the long ball. And this from the team that hit the fewest amount of homers in the league coming into the series.
Tigers now have 112 home runs this season. The Yankees have 218. So we're last and they're first. But we've been out homering them in this series.
And that's all that counts right now. Ronnie Rodriguez struck out in the second. Swing and a miss. That'll end the inning, but the Tigers take the lead, and once again it's via the long ball. Nico Goodrum goes deep, second time in the series. Tigers up a run.
For the fourth inning, and as you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later in tonight's game.
Well, Nico is homer to give the Tigers the lead. Second home run in the series, game winner last night. He puts the team on top here tonight. Meanwhile, a perfect 3 innings for Zim, 9 up, 9 down. Brett Gardner looks at a strike as we start the bottom of the fourth. Gardner struck out in the first inning, now 1 for 5 in the series.
And Gardner batted 9th last night. He's back at the top of the lineup tonight against Jordan Zimmerman.
No balls and 2 strikes. Yankees came in tonight's second best record in the major leagues at 84-50, trailing Boston, of course, who had won 93 games coming into play tonight. That loss they had last night to the Tigers was a tough one for the Yankees. 0-2, the count stays on Gardner.
Jordan Zimmerman is 6 of 10 so far tonight in first pitch strikes against Yankee bats, and that's one of the reasons why he's kind of had his way through the first 3 frames. You don't want to fall behind these Yankees and get yourself in a situation where you got to feed them fastballs because they've got too much power.
Nico on the run, and he can't quite get there. Bangs into the wall, but it's a foul ball.
Be careful down there, young man. Don't hurt yourself. I was asking Ron Gardenhire what he thought today of Nico Gooderman, what might be his best position in. He says he just loves him everywhere, but he has a feeling that he's going to translate into a very good outfielder because he covers so much ground with those long galloping strides. And he's also got a really good arm, but he's a natural shortstop, you see.
Well, he saw the shortstop skills really help Jacoby Jones in the outfield.
It's very vital to the footwork that goes on in the outfield. It's funny how you can see a lot of guys translate from the infield to the outfield, but very seldom will you see an outfielder translate to the infield. It just doesn't happen.
No, you're right.
Perfect example. Nicholas Castellanos, a former shortstop, third baseman, as was Nicholas, and Jacoby Jones. Well, I think most guys when they're younger, especially the guys at this level, when they were in Little League and high school, they were probably all shortstops on their teams.
Yeah, they probably pitched and played short.
Unless your coaches, unless the son's coach wanted to play shortstop.
Then you're out of luck. That's a good point. How many times did that happen?
Oh, my goodness. I'm coaching the team now. I'll play my son where I want to.
Outside now, 2-2 on Gardner. Turning into a pretty good bat for Gardner. He's 7-pitch it back. Stanton waiting on deck. And then Aaron Hicks, top 3 for the Yankees here in the 4th. Swing and a miss. Gardner is out of there. Sims got his 3rd strikeout. It'll bring out Giancarlo Stanton. It brings us to the Menards big money encounter, the fewest games to 300 homers. Stanton took 1,119 games. He did it last night.
Yeah, you got one blackened photo there. That would be Ralph Kiner. Took him 1,087 games to get there. He did it in the fewest games. Another first pitch strike for Jordan.
Stanton trying to carry a lot of the load now with Aaron Judge still on the DL. Gary Sanchez, we mentioned, may be coming back tomorrow in their lineup.
Well, this is the 84th game in a row that Stanton has played. Aaron Boone has not been able to give him a day off, with Gary Sanchez ailing, with Didi Gregorius on the disabled list, and Aaron Judge, which means Stanton has to play every single day. But once Andrew McCutchen gets here, Aaron Boone will be able to give Stanton a break. Been playing with a tender hamstring. Already a McCutchen jersey in the house.
Well, Zim now has gone 3-1 on Stanton. He struck Giancarlo out back in the 1st inning.
Yeah, these two guys have hooked up quite a bit over the years. And this is the 34th at bat. And for Stanton against Jordan.
It's going to be the first base runner of the game for the Yankees, a 1-out walk. Let's bring in Johnny Kane.
Well, guys, you were talking earlier about the bartering that went on between the fan that got Victor Martinez's historic ball last night. And of course, one of the fans that got a hold of Giancarlo Stanton's 300th home run had a little bartering for himself. So he had a meet and greet with Giancarlo Stanton, also got a tour, an upcoming tour of the field, also got a couple of autographed baseballs and 2 Bud Lights. That was...
He did not.
Yeah, no, I'm serious.
Seriously?
That's what they said. That last part was 2 Bud Lights. So the fan came away a winner, and Giancarlo got his 300th ball back in its rightful place.
Johnny, I noticed there's some security standing to your left there.
That's how Johnny rolls, man. Every time Johnny goes somewhere, he's got security.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. I already had it. We had a quick little talk, and security came over and said, "You're okay." I said, "Thanks." I said, "Okay, thanks, guys."
Look at you, Johnny.
Okay.
I got to roll with you more often.
I feel right at home.
By the time they realized it. Here's a bunt foul down the third base line by Hicks. Well, it was a big home run for Victor Martinez. He certainly wanted that baseball back. And sometimes you got a partner. 1-0 Tigers lead here on the home run by Nico Goodrum. Hicks does not hit into many double plays, just one ground ball double play in 88 of those situations this year.
Aaron Hicks has turned himself into a really good major league player. And when he first burst onto the scene in Minnesota a few years ago, he was playing for Ron Gardenhire. Ron said he was young at the time, but very gifted, very talented, but probably wasn't ready to play in the big leagues because they took him from Double-A to the big leagues because he had such a great spring training that year. And of course he got to the big leagues and he was just kind of overmatched in his rookie season. But most guys going from Double-A to the big leagues would be overmatched.
Well, it didn't help that he faced Justin Verlander in his first major league game.
No, that didn't help at all.
Double-A to the big leagues. Tigers opened up against Minnesota his rookie year, and JV fanned him 3 times.
And that's when JV was JV.
Yeah, it was 2013. Tigers had a great team that year. 2-1 on Hicks. In there, a strike call, 2-2.
Only 2 switch hitters in the majors have more home runs than Aaron Hicks. And I guess those 2 cats residing in Cleveland, Ramirez and Lindor.
Those 2 guys are pretty good.
Ooh, Ramirez is going to be 30-30, man. 30-30.
Up and in now, 3-2. And we talked about how Zim doesn't really walk many, but he's on the cusp here of walking back-to-back hitters.
Well, we know that Aaron's got a very good eye. He leads their team in free passes. And we also told you that Aaron really likes that fastball up in the strike zone. So if you're Jordan, boy, you don't want to make a mistake at the top of the zone, especially with that short porch in right field.
Swing and a miss. Hicks strikes out, and 2 gone now. Celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Tigers' '68 World Series team when the Cardinals are on town September 8th at 6:10. Arrive early. Special pregame on-field ceremony at 5:15. The first 20,000 fans receive a '68 replica road jersey courtesy of Comerica Bank.
That's right around the corner. That's on the next homestand.
It is indeed. Boy, the games are ticking off the schedule now. 2 gone for Miguel Andujar. Went around. Strike 1.
Verlander pitched yesterday. Does that put him in line to pitch against us? Have you looked that far ahead yet?
No.
Let's get the guys on the truck to get on that. The smart guys down there.
Well, when does Houston come in?
Right after the
Cardinals?
Yep, right after the Cardinals.
Yeah, they'll be here the 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Might work out that way.
Ground ball left side. Ronnie Rodriguez goes for the force, and that is that. J.D. Martinez hit his 39th homer last night. Red Sox won in Chicago. We'll update the American League playoff picture when we come back. T-Mobile. J.D. Martinez did it again last night for the Boston Red Sox. A 3-run homer capping a comeback for Boston. 5-run ninth inning, and they beat the White Sox. They were down 4-0 at one point.
About the time that we were coming back to beat the Yankees last night, the Boston Red Sox were doing the exact same thing against the White Sox. They were coming back to beat them. So that was a very difficult loss last night for the New York Yankees.
As a result, an 8.5 game lead now for the Red Sox in the American League East.
J.D. Martinez is amazing, and what he has done to transform himself into an MVP candidate, I mean, it's remarkable. I mean, and we watched it with our own eyes. I mean, we watched J.D. grow up in a Tigers uniform, and now he's gone on to put himself in the MVP conversation.
Driven to center field. Hicks is on the move, still going back, and it's off the wall. McCann is on his way to second and in with a double. James with a leadoff two-base hit in the fifth.
It's a nice piece of hitting here by James McCann. He got a changeup, a cookie changeup that was right down the middle. That's like a BP fastball to McCann, and he whistled it off the 385 sign. And he really had to get on his horse to get to second base because that guy right there, Hicks, has a really good arm. I wouldn't mind to see Jacoby Jones bunt right here to make sure that he gets McCann over to third base with just one out. Like to see him give himself up.
Andujar is close at third, but no sign of bunt there. Strike one.
And the reason why I say that is because the McCann run is important. I mean, you're playing against this Yankee team in this ballpark. They've got a good record here.
Jacoby lined out back up the middle his last time up. That is a foul ball. Well, here's what it looks like now in the American League playoff picture. The Yankees and Oakland right now holding the 2 wild card spots.
Yeah, the Yankees are starting to look to the wild card game. And I don't know if they're going to catch the Boston Red Sox. Not the way Boston's playing. Boston's got 93 victories.
Went up top and he chased, and Jacoby Jones down on strikes. 7th strikeout now for Severino. And we're bringing Johnny Kane again. Johnny?
Yeah, guys, Dawel Lugo coming up to the plate for the second time. Of course, his second consecutive start at second base, and he's already got a second major league hit. He said his family that was in attendance last night, they went back to the hotel, had a really good time, but he said for all the family back in the Dominican Republic, he had so many mentions and so many phone calls that he had to throw his phone away because it was just too much to handle. But he said, honestly, you know, it's tough for me to put into words what it meant for me, to my country, to be able to make his major league debut last night here at Yankee Stadium. So all the best to this young man.
Dawel Lugo certainly looked upon as part of the Tigers' future, part of the J.D. Martinez trade last year. And I remember when that trade was made, Rod, a lot of people were saying, who are these guys that the Tigers got back?
Yeah, but we talked to some people in the Arizona Diamondbacks organization, and they said we got some pretty good players back in that deal, and we're starting to see one of those in Lugo.
Fouled away 0-2. The count stays on Lugo. Singled in the third. He was 1 for 4 in last night's ball game in his first base hit. First big league game.
And Tigers making Severino work out there. That's just the 5th inning, and he's about to throw his 76th pitch.
Ooh.
Well, he wanted that one. Nick Lentz didn't give it to him, though.
Romine held it there, 98 right at the knees. Severino clearly upset. 1-2 on Lugo. Should get back out of play. Voit runs out of room. Lugo this year hit only 3 home runs. Now he does have a little bit more pop than that in his bat. 13 homers last year. Slice to right, base hit. McCann coming to third. They'll stop in there, and Lugo is a 2-for-2 night.
We're going to stop that right now, Eric. We don't need to keep going, all right? We know.
Time now for the Lowe's whole team together. Last night against the Yankees, the Tigers scored 8 runs, hitting 5 homers. The previous 4 games, 7 runs, only 4 homers. So they really busted out last night. Now trying to get some more here against Severino.
And very important here for Jamer to make sure he can get something up in the strike zone that he can hit deep enough to the outfield to score James McCann. You want to lay off the balls down in the strike zone. You don't want to hit a ground ball here.
Ball 1.
There's Jamer's family in full effect, fired up. That's a beautiful thing right there. Dad, uncle, cousins.
Boy, 99 that time for Severino.
Severino can get to 100. He doesn't pitch at that velocity, but he can surely touch it. How about this pick right here? Jamer and his family outside the stadium. That's what it's all about. To be able to share with your family.
Jamer, of course, gave him a thrill. He led off the game with a home run last night.
She's trying to catch a special moment. I'm being told now that that home run that Nico Goodrum hit was a 100-mile-per-hour fastball that he turned around.
Wow. Wow. Swing and a miss out in front.
That changeup is a dirty pitch. I mean, especially when you have a guy that throws 100 miles an hour. And then he's throwing that changeup out of the same slot, the same window as the fastball with the same arm speed. And you just can't really tell as a hitter whether it's that high velocity fastball or the changeup, because they both have the same type of spin on the baseball.
Jamer laid off there. Now the count levels at 2-2. Tigers, despite winning the ball game last night, were 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, Yankees weren't much better either, so that's one of the reasons why we won. Yankees have been struggling in that same regard lately.
Swing and a miss, and Candelario goes down and strikes. 2 gone. Strikeouts piling up now for Severino. That is 8 of them.
Well, he's going to get to 200 today.
He needs 3 more.
If you weren't with us, we told you that Severino, when he came into the contest tonight, was 11 strikeouts shy of 200. And if he does it, it will be the 2nd consecutive year that he's done it. And he will become only the 3rd Yankee pitcher in their history to have 2 200 strikeout seasons. It's impressive when you think about Roger Clemens and some of the other guys that played here.
Base hit down the right field line. Ducey comes through with 2 outs. McCann scores. They're going to try and score the back runner. That is Lugo, and he's in there. To third base goes Ducey. 2 runs in for the Tigers. A bullet down the first base line, 3-0.
Jim Ducey has had a spectacular month of August. August is coming to a close, but Ducey is still swinging that hot stick. He hit an absolute missile. I mean, missile. Right past the first baseman, Voigt, down in the corner. How about the speed of Lugo, too, from first base? I did not know Dewall had this kind of speed. I mean, Deuce is busting it. He gets it in. Torreyes fires it home, and no play. How about these Tigers?
2 RBIs now for Ducey.
That's a big knock. I mean, it's 2 outs. 2 outs, runners in scoring position. Wonderful job by Ducey.
2-run triple, 14 RBIs on the year now. A clutch 2-out knock for the Tigers. They lead by 3. It'll get away from Romine, not far enough though. Severino now is up to 86 pitches. Castellanos whistling it foul down the right field line. Meanwhile, Severino is still throwing upper 90s. That last one at 98.
And Jordan trying to stay loose in that Tigers dugout. But he'll take as many runs as he can get.
He's not used to getting too many runs. In fact, averaging about 2 per game over his last 9 starts.
It's tough to get victories that way.
Nicholas, a strikeout and a ground out in this game. Larry Rothschild can't be very happy here. The Tigers have put up 3 on his ace. Now the pitch count approaching 90. Swing and a miss. He is able to dust Castellanos, and that'll end the inning. Tigers get 2 on the 2-run triple by the Deuce. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Belt Tire. In favor of Detroit as we go to the bottom of the 5th, going back to college now with Nissan.
Where are we going?
We're going to Luke Voigt's alma mater. That would be Missouri State. 291 there with 70 extra base hits.
How about the 23 steals, though?
I wouldn't have guessed that. Here's Zim now going back to work. 3-0 lead, and Voigt looks at a strike. Only 1 base runner so far tonight for the Yankees, and that was a 1-out walk to Stanton in the 4th. Popped up first base side. Ducey does not have room. Jim just delivered a big 2-out triple to not get a pair. I mean, here's a Tigers team that seemed very listless and lifeless in Kansas City. Dropped 2 games there to the Royals. They walk in here and now playing better. Much better. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Zim, his 5th. Time for a game break now in Craig Monroe. Well, the Tigers certainly have utilized, and maybe unconventional, Castellanos' ability to throw guys out, though. 10 this year for Nicholas.
That's great observation on Simo's part. Simo was an outstanding outfielder in his big league career and could throw the baseball very well. And Nicholas Castellanos making the transition from third base to outfield last September. And he's been out there every single game for the most part this year. Boone got kicked out.
Well, Aaron Boone's been chirping since the first inning with Nick Lentz, and apparently he's been thrown out of the game, and Lentz is going to hear about it now. And here's a whole bunch of frustration coming out from Aaron Boone. Oh my goodness, now he's framing pitches. I don't think I've seen that one before. This has been going on since the very first inning tonight.
Yes, it has. And apparently Nick Lentz had enough.
So it was a very short tirade, but a somewhat entertaining one. And the Yankees now without their skipper. Josh Bart is their bench coach. There's a strike called, got him looking, and Torres is out of there.
Meanwhile, Jordan Zimmerman is out there twirling an absolute gem. He's about first pitch strike on every single hitter. He's working all 4 quadrants of the strike zone with that fastball that got up to 93 here today. And he's used some nice breaking balls and changeups. Just a really good job. Why is he briefing about that pitch? I mean, I like Aaron, but that looked like it was a strike.
And then that was the strikeout. Meanwhile, 6 punch-outs now for Zimmerman, and there's a strike called in the outside corner to Neil Walker. Aaron Boone very efficient in his argument. It'll pop up in the air to center field. Going to be a routine play for Jacoby Jones. Then a 1-2-3 5th inning for Zimmerman. Well, if you want to argue, might as well frame some pitches. Nicely done.
He got down pretty low.
Good form right there.
off what Simo was talking about regarding throws and how some guys are more comfortable charging the ball the more conventional way. Look at Jacoby Jones out here. He gets it off to the side. This is how most guys throw the ball when they're in the outfield. Take a look at Mikey Matuk as well. Gets around it, uses his feet, going toward the momentum. Now take a look at Nicholas Castellanos. This is where Nick is comfortable doing it, and this is how Nick is comfortable doing it. He's not comfortable doing it like Jacoby. He's not comfortable doing it like Matuk, but the results are the same as the other guys. Nick has 10 outfield assists.
Tigers piling up those assists this year. The outfield doing a tremendous job in throwing runners out at the bases.
That was our Call Sam call of the game. We've got to take care of our sponsors.
V-Mart rips one foul down the right field line.
Especially Sam.
So the Yankees now without their skipper. And I wonder if some of that, Rod, had something to do with maybe firing up his team, which is a little bit lackadaisical.
Yeah, I think so. They lost the series to the White Sox before we got here. They dropped the first game of the series to us, and we've got a real good shot of beating them again here tonight.
Bouncing ball right to the second baseman, Torres, from the outfield grass. He'll throw him out. So Josh Bard, the bench coach, takes over the reins of the Yankees now. Here is Nico Goodrum. There is activity in the bullpen for the Yankees. Right-hander warming up as Nico fouls it back out of play. A.J. Cole heating up.
And Josh Bard, a former catcher, played 10 years in the big leagues. He was a switch hitting catcher with Cleveland, the Red Sox, the Padres, the Nationals, the Mariners. He was well traveled. Real good changeup there by Severino in the fastball count to Nico Goodrum.
Just gives you an indication of how hard he throws when his changeup comes in at 90 and still effective. He went around, strike three. 10 strikeouts. Tigers conclude the 68th 50th anniversary weekend when they take on the Cardinals on Sunday, September 9th at 1:10. Arrive early for the pregame Q&A. Members of the 68 World Series Championship team will be there. First 10,000 fans receive a 68 replica pennant, and it's presented by Comerica Bank. Here is Ronnie Rodriguez. Ronnie has punched out twice in this game. So Severino is one strike away from his 200th of the year, but he trails 3-0 tonight.
He has thrown that changeup a bunch this evening. Not many sliders. He's been more fastball changeup.
That sails outside. Ronnie laid off. Over the 100 plateau now and pitches tonight. Little chopper slowly towards short. Torres throws him out. That'll end the inning. It's a 1-2-3 frame for Severino. On our way to the bottom of the sixth. Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And it's Chevy Truck Month. Bring on the new and hand down the old. Chevrolet, find new roads. Back here in the Big Apple, the Tigers have a 3-0 lead tonight as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Jordan Zimmerman back to the hill. He has allowed a walk, and that is it. Retired 10 straight to start this ball game. Austin Romine leads it off as we go to the home part of the 6th inning. Romine, Torres, and Gardner. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Zim extremely efficient tonight, only 60 pitches through 5. Lined up the middle. On one hop, it's going to get right through Lugo.
That will go E4.
He got in front of it. Hit hard, a short hop, and right through him.
That's what happens when you get on your heels. Sometimes you get on your heels and you just can't move with the glove the way that you would want to move with the glove, and that ball sneaks right through the 5-hole of DeWall Lugo.
Only the second base runner of the ball game for the Yankees. E4. That'll bring him Ronald Torres.
Fans booing here. I think they wanted to knock on that.
Ground ball slowly up the middle, should be 2. Rodriguez, Lugo, and safe at first.
Man, that looked like it was tailor-made.
Torres can scoot. Fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app. Take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. It's made available by Oakland University. An error charge to Lugo.
First error of Lugo's major league career.
Brett Gardner with 2 strikeouts in this game.
And Gardner always gives you a quality at bat. He always takes a lot of pitches. He sees a lot of pitches every time he steps in the batter's box.
Now 2-0.
Jordan's wondering where that one was. He thought for sure that was a strike.
More action now. Joining Cole in the bullpen is Jonathan Holder.
And Fox tracks clearly is showing us that those 2 balls were off the plate.
Tigers lead 3-0. They've got Stanton waiting on deck. Driven deep to right field and way back, and that ball's going to be gone.
We got a ball game, folks.
Into the second tier and right. That is the first hit of the ball game for the Yankees, and it went a long way. It can happen that quickly in this ballpark.
Well, we talked about the patience of Brett Gardner. He took a couple of pitches that were off the plate, and he forced Zim into coming right down the middle, and he took a really good swing at that heater that was right down the middle at 92 and hit it out. His crowd all of a sudden has woken up.
They had literally nothing to cheer about until that. Gardner hits his 12th. One-run ball game now, 3-2. Stanton a strikeout and a walk.
Longest tenured member on the New York Yankees team. And Brett Gardner, drafted way back in 2005. Be tough to throw a fastball here to Stanton in a 2-1 count. He might have to put a wrinkle in something. He did.
3-1.
I don't blame him either.
Zim trying to regain command here. Leadoff man reaching on an error. 1 out later, a 2-run shot by Gardner. Stanton homered to the ball game last night. Three and two. High fly ball to center field. It's going to be Jones. He'll cruise over to make the catch.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on Jordan Zimmerman. Now, he's gotten up to 93 here tonight. As a matter of fact, he's gotten to 93 a couple of different times. He has gone as low as 79 with his curveball.
Here is Aaron Hicks. Swing and a miss.
You want to stay down in the strike zone to Aaron. You don't want to throw him up top. He's a great high fastball hitter. Matter of fact, he nearly hit a home run his first time up on a high fastball. Here they go.
Driven deep to right field. It's going to go back to the wall, and we are tied.
I guess they just didn't hear me say don't go up top, huh?
Apparently not. And now it's a 3-3 game. This all happened in a blink of an eye. Number 23 for Hicks.
Jordan Zimmerman was absolutely cruising during the course of the contest, but then he fell behind a couple of hitters here in the 6th frame, and they've hit a couple of homers as a result of that.
2 hits tonight for the Yankees. Both of them have left the building. Miguel Andujar now. And the crowd is very lively now as they start the Let's Go Yankees chants. There's a drive in the air to left field. Way back to the track, to the wall. Gone.
My goodness.
3 home runs for the Yankees here in the 6th, and they have the lead.
That is the 32nd time this year the Yankees have had 3 or more homers in a game. The record for 3 homer games for the Yankees is 33, set back in 2004. Man, that happened quickly.
Wow. Rick Anderson out to the mound. 2-run shot Gardner. Solo shots Hicks and Andujar.
Tigers have got some activity in their bullpen. Looks like it's Lewis Coleman. He's heating up rather quickly.
Aaron Judge imploring the fans, let's go, make noise.
Here's the 2 home runs. Here's the Hicks homer. They wanted it up top. Didn't quite get it where they wanted it. and he punished that pitch right over the heart of the dish. And then you have the home run by Andujar. He pulled his hands in nicely on that fastball at 92.
I just can't believe how much balls are just flying out of this yard. I mean,
it's a bandbox, dude.
It is, but you know, we only come here once a year, and you kind of forget how much it is.
Yeah, this is a bandbox.
Tigers have scored 11 runs, 9 via the homer in this series. Yankees 11 runs, 10 via the homer.
I was talking to Lloyd McClendon down in the tunnel today when some of the guys were taking some early and extra batting practice in the cages. And he was talking about this ballpark and just how small it plays. And he brought up Miguel Cabrera's name. He said if Miguel played in this ballpark for 80 games and then played in the rest of the parks in the American League East, he'd have 600 home runs right now.
Yeah, I believe it. I absolutely believe it. One and two on Luke Voigt. And all of a sudden, Zimmerman's pitch count was in such great shape, but now it's at 81 as Lewis Coleman begins to loosen. Four to 3, Yankees have their first lead of the night. We have had 12 home runs in about a game and a half.
We got 2 more games to go.
Yes, we do. 2-2 on Voigt, who has a strikeout and a ground out back to the mound.
Huge smile on the face of Aaron Hicks.
Voigt hit one of the Yankees homers last night. It was a 2-run shot in the 7th. That gave them a 7-5 lead, which they would relinquish in the 9th. Little chopper to the shortstop, Ronnie Rodriguez. Oh, what a scoop by Ducey.
My goodness, Ronnie.
Inning over. Big inning for the Yanks. 3 home runs. They've got the lead. They lead 4-3 now. 3 home runs in the bottom of the 6th inning off the Tigers right-hander Jordan Zimmerman. Gardner, then Hicks, then Andujar, and just like that, the Tigers trail now 4-3.
Yep, Tigers got some work to do. They were able to come back in several times in last night's game.
Yankees going to the bullpen now. It's a wall side windows pitching change. It'll be Jonathan Holder.
Holder's got everything. He's got a fastball, he's got a slider, he's got a cutter, he's got a curveball, and a changeup. So he's got 5 different pitches. And he's having a pretty good year. Only walked 13 batters this year. He has 54 strikeouts.
Severino threw 102 pitches and struck out 10. Didn't walk anybody tonight. And here's McCann. First one comes in at 93, up top 1-0. It's the 3rd time this year that Severino struck out 10 or more and didn't walk anybody. You rarely see that.
Severino is one of the brightest young stars in our game as far as pitchers are concerned.
Popped up, shallow right, Torres, the second baseman. 1 away. Win big with Menards and Fox Sports Detroit. Visit any Menards location. Pick up your entry to win the Fox Sports Detroit Ultimate VIP Studio Experience Sweepstakes. Your visit will include a studio tour, a meet and greet with talent, and a whole lot more. So check it out at your local Menards. That's in the air toward left center field, and it's going to be dropping in. A sliding attempt. Gardner could not get there, almost got there to make the play.
That's great effort here by Gardner and also the shortstop, Gleyber Torres. Excuse me, that's Torres on that side of the infield on that play. My goodness.
Good luck.
That was a second baseman out there.
It's a flip a coin now with the shifts. He ran 1.5 miles to get there too.
Yeah. I wonder if Jacoby's thinking about stealing the base here, getting in the scoring position. He has the ability to do so. Jacoby's really fast.
Well, Lugo is in there now. Four to 3, Yankees had the lead, tying run on here in the 7th. Popped up. Will it stay in play? It's going to be a tough play for Voit, and out of play. About 3 rows deep. Lugo with 2 singles tonight is just his 2nd major league game. That'll sail foul again. Last night the Tigers saw the really good arms out of their bullpen. They saw Green, Robertson, Britton, and Betances.
We're going to see a couple of more of those arms out of the bullpen again, but we will not see Betances, is my guess today.
Yeah, he threw a lot of pitches in the 9th. Both of Lugo's singles tonight with 2 strikes.
And Jacoby with 9 stolen bases this year. Ramon Santiago having a conversation with Jacoby. He's already told him what the times are of the pitcher and whether he can try to steal a base or not. 9 steals. He's been caught 5 times. Got a healthy lead.
Runner goes. Line drive to right field, and it's going to be caught. Jacoby going to have to hurry back. And he just got in there.
That gives you an idea of the athleticism and the quickness of Jacoby Jones. He's running on the play, but yet he takes a look in to see if there's going to be some contact. There was some contact. He saw exactly where the ball was, and he was able to get back. There are so many base runners that don't look in, and they don't know where the ball is, and they would have gotten doubled up on that play right there.
MLB at Bat is your #1 Detroit Tigers app. Customize your experience to catch every game this season, every moment as well. Get Tigers home screen icons, features such as MLB.TV, Game of the Day, in-game highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today.
And Josh Bard, a former catcher, is the acting manager. Yeah, because Aaron Boone has been kicked out of this game. Might call for a pitch out. I think he understands that Jacoby's going to try to steal a base here.
Here's Candelario. Ball 1 to Jamer.
That wasn't a pitch out, but it was a fastball up outside, which would have been a very easy pitch for Romine to throw down to second base had Jacoby been on the move.
Whistled foul. He was out in front.
Here's the ejection of Aaron Boone. It's his 3rd ejection this season in his rookie campaign as a manager. He was arguing balls and strikes. He thought that Nick Litz would have been a little bit too liberal with the strike zone with Zimmerman and McCann. He even got down and showed Nick Litz where James was catching that ball.
He would know Bob was a great catcher. So he taught him well.
Yeah.
Little looper back a short, gonna drop in. That's a base hit, and Jacoby will go to second. Single for Candelario. That'll set up Jim Adducci.
Gonna go to the left-hander, Britt. You wonder if Ron Gardenhire will counter with a right-handed bat.
Tigers have Matuk and Griner from the right side. Reyes a switch hitter on the bench. That'll be it for Holder. So Zach Britton coming on. And we'll step aside. 4-3 Yankees.
Summary, in the 6th inning, the Tigers had a commanding lead after the triple by Adduci with 2 outs. He drove in Lugo and McCann, but that lead didn't last very long. 3 home runs in the bottom half of the 5th inning for the Yankees. That would be Gardner and then Hicks, and then the youngster Andujar also played long ball.
So Mikey Matuk will pinch hit here with the tying run at second, go ahead run at first. First one from Zach Britton is outside, 1-0. Mikey shoots one through. It's a base hit. Coming around third base, Jacoby. Throw comes into third. He's going to be out. But the Tigers have tied it up. The run scores. Pinch hit RBI single by Matuk. And the Tigers have tied this game. Jones comes flying around third and scores, and the throw from Walker gets the final out. Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch coming up. The top of the 7th inning to knot this one up. Here is the Ram pick the stick update for the ball game tonight. And Gibby with 5. I've got a 7 spot.
How about you with your Adduci pick today? Outstanding.
Simo struggling with a -2. Oh, Keats a -2. That's tough. That's tough to swallow there. Well, how about Jordan Zimmerman tonight, Rod? He had a no-hitter going into the middle innings of this game, was seemingly cruising along, but we find that in this ballpark, they can strike quickly, especially in this yard.
Well, third time through the lineup today wasn't good for Jordan Zimmerman. They hit 3 home runs. All 3 home runs came on fastballs, and the pitches had too much plate. Jordan Zimmerman was throwing first pitch strikes all night long. In that particular inning, a lot of first pitch strikes as well, but yet made a couple of mistakes with fastballs. You can't do this in this ballpark.
Meanwhile, Severino, we know he's really good. He ended up with 10 strikeouts, no walks in this game, but the Tigers got to him for 3 tonight. Some pretty good bats against him.
Well, I love the Tigers at bats last night against Jay Happ, a 15-game winner, and then you have Severino going out there tonight. He's leading the majors in wins with 17. He might get 18. No, he's not going to get 18, but leading the majors in wins, and he pitched well, but the Tigers had some great at-bats against him.
Well, they certainly did, and it's going to be decided by the bullpens now. The Tigers and the Yankees in a 4-4 game. Coming out of the Tigers bullpen now is Lewis Coleman.
And Coleman's pitched quite a bit this year since coming up from Toledo. He throws from down under. He's got a little two-seam fastball. He also has a little bit of a slider. He also will throw that fastball up in the strike zone. You see his overall numbers, a 3.59 ERA in 42 innings of work in a Tigers uniform.
Meanwhile, Nico comes in from left field to play first base. The Ducey out of the game, and Mikey Matuk now stays in the contest. He delivered the game-tying hit in the pinch hitting role. Gleyber Torres leads it off. Torres, Walker, and Romine facing Coleman. 4-4 game.
Candelario down at third base, playing right on the line. And nothing is going to get between Candelario and that bag for sure. Look how close he is playing to that line. It's called no doubles.
That'll miss inside, and the count now goes 2-1 on Gleyber Torres. Fouled away. Zim throws 85 pitches before departing. He surrendered the 3 homers in the 6th, had a no-hitter through 5 in this game. Foul back. Those single hits you see are all home runs. Gardner, Hicks, and Andujar.
Yankees now have 221 home runs this year. Most in the majors.
(3-2).
No free passes.
Slice to right field. It's going to get down a base hit. Castellanos backhands it and hustles it back in. It's a leadoff single for Gleyber Torres. Only their 4th hit of the night. And here is Neil Walker.
And Gleyber Torres does not steal many bases. Speed is not part of his game.
Ball 1. Jamer on the grass at third. Walker a long look at Phil Nevin in the coaching box.
5 steals this year for Torres so far this season. He's been caught twice.
High pop up, third base side. Candelario is in foul ground for the out.
And in case you missed it, let's take a peek at how the Tigers scored their 1 run in the 7th inning. They got a couple of bloop singles. They got 1 bloop single from Jacoby Jones. They got another bloop single off the bat of Jamer Candelario. Then they got a solid single off the bat of Matuk, who was pinch hitting for Ducey. Jamer tried to get to third base after Jacoby came home, and a real nice throw to third base by Neil Walker to nab is Jamer Candelario for the 3rd out of the inning.
Here is Austin Romine. In there, strike 1 on Romine. Tigers have badly out-hit the Yankees tonight, 9-4, but we're tied at 4. Chopped foul. Well, we had some rain at the ballpark around 5 o'clock or so. It moved out 72 right now, so even though it's a tad humid out, still pretty pleasant.
89 at first pitch last night.
Ooh, much more pleasant then. Ronald Torreyes on deck. Neither starter will get a decision tonight. Severino had 10 strikeouts, didn't walk anybody, and Zim had that no-hitter going into the 6th. Swing and a miss. Romine is out of there, 2 gone. Here is the upcoming matchup presented by Wallside Windows. Tomorrow it's going to be Masahiro Tanaka facing Daniel Norris.
It'll be the first start for Tigers left-hander Daniel Norris since having surgery way back in April. And Tanaka's got that real good split-fingered fastball. Tigers are going to have to lay off that ball tomorrow.
Daniel Stump and Alex Wilson in the Tigers pen.
And double barrel action in the Tigers pen.
Torreyes reaching out at fielder's choice and scoring in the 6th.
It's his 3rd at bat of the day, and I think he's probably seen 3 pitches. But Torreyes, he doesn't stay in that batter's box very long.
He came in batting .480 career against the Tigers.
Yep.
1 ball, 1 strike. Torreyes not a big guy. They list him at 5'8". In his 3rd stint with the big club this year. Swing and miss. 1-2. Top of the order waiting, Bright Gardner. Let's see if there's room. There is not for Nico. It's back out of play. Two more here, and then it's on to Chicago, a 3-game series. The month of September is here tomorrow. The waiver deadline, by the way, approaching as well. If teams want to have players available for the postseason, got to get them in your system by today. That's driven toward left field, and on the move, Matuk runs it down, had it all the way. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Belt Tire.
Dish, of course, Nick and Victor Martinez have been teammates for a couple of seasons now, but Nick said that early on, he wasn't sure that Victor liked him so much. He said, because I was somewhat of a knucklehead. But he said, I'm pleased to report now that we do have a good relationship. Biggest thing that Nick says he's taken from Vic is in his approach at the plate. He said, you got to figure, if you're going to be a designated hitter, playing 150 games, you could accumulate nearly 600 at-bats. It takes a lot of presence, a lot of focus to not let any of those at-bats slip away. And you guys, you know, we always talk about it as a great example of taking advantage of a first pitch strike right there. But Nick Castellanos always willing to jump on that first one. Victor Martinez, as we know, when he comes to the plate, he doesn't waste them. And Gardy always talks about professional ABs. He wants the young guys to learn from it, and certainly something that Nicholas Castellanos has picked up on in their time together.
Well, VR now will have a chance at showing us another one of those professional at-bats as Nick leads it off with a single here in the 8th inning. So the go-ahead run is on for the Tigers.
If you're a young player on the Tigers team, why wouldn't you watch the way that Victor Martinez goes about his business? He's been in the big leagues for a long time, well over a decade. He's got a career batting average, batting right-handed, of over 300. And his career batting average left-handed a shade above 293. That's pretty good.
Victor ahead of the count, 1-0. Martinez is 1 for 3, singled in the second.
Boy, you got to really fight now if you're Victor Martinez to make sure you don't hit a ground ball. He's got that turbo sinker, does Britton.
Went around, so says Paul Nart at first base. Tigers now have 10 hits in this game.
No shift. And for Victor, batting right-handed. And most teams will shift on Victor when he's batting left-handed. And that pitch at 95 that Britton features, man, is just nasty.
So what do you do when you've got a guy that has a power sinker like this?
Well, you got to do what Victor's doing, man. You got to fight. And you got to move up in the batter's box a little bit. Even though he's throwing 95 miles an hour, you want to catch that thing before it goes down to the bottom. You want to fight to make sure that you can get a good pitch to hit. You know Britton wants the ground ball.
He's gone to 3-1 now on Martinez after a leadoff single by Castellanos. Goodrum on deck. He's already homered tonight. One is whistled foul down the right field line. 3-2 on Victor. Tigers led 3-0 in this game. Goodrum with a homer, a Ducey a 2-run triple, and 3 homers by the Yankees to tie it up, or to go ahead rather, and then the Tigers tied it up in the 7th. Victor stays alive.
I thought maybe he would start Nicholas Castellanos here with Victor in that batter's box. Victor does not strike out very often. But Ron Gardenhire apparently, at least on that first 3-2 pitch to Victor, did not start Nicholas Castellanos.
Third toughest batter to strike out in the American League, Martinez.
So that means a lot of times, and not every time, but a lot of times, you could start that runner just to try to stay out of a double play. But doesn't look like Nick's going to be running.
Line drive to center field, base hit. Castellanos will go to second, and Martinez with his second hit of the game.
What a thing of beauty.
Pinch runner now. Here comes Victor Reyes.
What an at-bat by Victor Martinez. These are very difficult pitches to lay off of. He lays off every last one of these balls at the bottom of the strike zone, and he finally gets one that's down, but he's forced into swinging at it, and he flips it the opposite way. for another solid single.
Reyes hit first, Castellanos hit second, nobody out. Here's Goodrum.
Goodrum has 15 home runs this year. 14 home runs have come batting left-handed. Only one homer batting right-handed. However, Nico's batting average is better when batting right-handed than left-handed. Time for the StatCast AI powered by AWS. Let's take a look at the massive home run that Nico Goodrum hit earlier in the game. The pitch that Severino threw was 100 miles an hour. It left Nico's bat at 101, and it traveled 392 feet.
Third time this year that Nico has hit home runs in back-to-back games. One ball and one strike.
How about this?
Simo getting some love.
Yeah. Simo hit 23 home runs as a rookie in 2003.
Remember that ball Eric Munson hit to the camera well in dead center?
I do. That was the first time I think I've ever seen a ball go out into that camera well when he did it.
Now the 1-1.
Eric Munson and Eric Chavez went to the same high school in San Diego. Can you imagine that? Those two guys playing on the same high school team?
No.
Eric Chavez, of course, went on to make several All-Star teams and won several Gold Gloves for the Oakland Athletics.
Nico sitting on a 2-1. Here it comes. 3-1 on Goodrum.
They are doing a wonderful job against Zach Britton, not swinging at that turbo sinker that he continues to feature. Big Mike Harkey in that bullpen, the bullpen coach for the Yankees. Everybody's big in that Yankees bullpen.
A.J. Cole has been warming up several times in this game. He's up again. Here's the 3-1. And he walked in ball 4 to load the bases with nobody out. Here come boos. Here comes Larry Rothschild as well. They celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Tigers' 68 World Series championship on September 8th. Tigers host the Cardinals at 6:10. Arrive early for a special pregame on-field ceremony at 5:15, presented by Comerica Bank. If you'd like tickets or more information, go to Tigers.com.
There has been nothing immature about the Tigers at bats in this 8th inning against Zach Britton. And per man, everybody has made him throw the ball over the plate, and when he hasn't done it, they have simply taken their free pass.
Infield coming in now for the Yankees. Ball 1 to Ronnie Rodriguez. Zach Britton is having trouble throwing strikes.
You know, we keep talking about how talented this Yankee bullpen is, and it is very talented. But of the 8 batters the bullpen has seen in this game, 6 of those guys have gotten on base.
2-0.
17 pitches. Ooh, not a good ratio. I mean, you fought real hard if you're Ronnie Rodriguez to get into this count right here. You don't want to swing at that turbo sinker. You want to make sure you can elevate the baseball. You got to fight to do it.
Oh, just the top of the zone. 2-1 now on Ronnie.
That looked like a four-seam fastball there thrown by Britton. And one that he wanted to throw a strike with. He didn't want that ball dipping out of the strike zone.
Britton had 3 really good years as the closer of the Orioles.
He was one of the best in baseball there for a minute.
Ronnie skies one in the air to center field. Backing up is Hicks. Runner will tag at third and score. Tigers will take the lead. Throw into third. Not in time. All three runners move up.
That's a mistake there by Aaron Hicks. Hicks should have thrown that ball to second base, and he knows that. But because he threw that ball to third base, that allowed Niko Goodrum to go from first to second, and now the Tigers have two runners in scoring position with just one out. Ball right here has to go to second base. Niko Goodrum hesitated for a moment. Then when he saw where he was throwing the baseball, he was able to get to third base without a play, and there was no way Hicks was going to throw out Victor Reyes. So now the double play is not in order.
Infield coming in all the way now. They're on the grass with runners at second and third. 5-4. Tigers have regained the lead.
That was a good at-bat by Ronnie Rodriguez.
Here is McCann. Two-base hit, run scored in the fifth inning for James. Tigers now have 11 hits, only 4 for the Yankees. One ball, one strike. Tigers right now good speed on the bases. They've got Goodrum at second. They've got Reyes, the pinch runner, at third. The inning started with a single by Nicholas Castellanos. One and two. Gardy has watched his team fight tooth and nail the first 2 games in this series.
Gardy enjoys every single win that he could get against the Yankees. And it doesn't matter whether it's in spring training, the regular season, it doesn't matter, because every single year Minnesota would get to the postseason, the Yankees would knock them out of the postseason. And Gardy hadn't forgotten that.
Swing and a miss, and McCann is out of there. That's a big out, 2 away. First strikeout for Britton.
Maybe the first breaking ball that Britton has thrown too. Everything else was fastball, fastball, fastball. Finally came with a breaking ball there to McCann, and he got him to swing and miss.
Here is Jacoby Jones as the Tigers trying to tack on here in the 8th.
I was watching Jacoby take some batting practice in the cages down in the Tigers clubhouse before the game, and every swing that he was taking today, he was trying to drive the ball to right field. Really working on his hands and his hand direction and staying on the baseball.
Jones came in batting .203 this year. We know he's got power. He's hit 9 homers. Becoming more consistent, though, offensively. I think he's probably the final hurdle. I mean, he can play defense.
Well, there's no doubt about that. I mean, we've been talking about Aaron Hicks a lot on the other side and how he was for 3 years before he kind of figured out some things. It takes some of these guys longer than others, especially the high school kids and some of the college kids. Of course, Jacoby is a college kid.
.96 that time from Britton.
96 with some life on it.
One ball and one strike. Joe Jimenez in the Tigers bullpen has been warming up. He'll get the bottom of the 8th. Line to center field. Hicks is there, and the Tigers will settle for 1 run, but they take the lead. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. It's kind of been a back and forth series. Both games have been that way. Tigers back on top now as we check out the game summary. Zim was awfully good tonight for the most part before those home runs.
Yeah, Zim only gave up 3 hits, and all 3 of the hits that he gave up were homers here today, all solo shots. Actually, one was a 2-run shot.
Joe Jimenez coming in now for the Tigers. He will handle the 8th.
Big inning for Joe. Joe's been struggling for a couple of weeks now. And very important for him to go out there with some confidence and make sure he throws some strikes.
First one missing inside to Brett Gardner.
And Gardner's the one that got it going for the Yankees in that 6th frame with his 2-run shot.
In there, a strike called right at the top of the zone, 1-1. Joe had a clean inning a couple of days ago in KC. But in August, his ERA north of 10. Just missed. And Gardner's patient.
Yeah, he's never in a hurry. He always seems to find himself in a real nice friendly fastball count, I should say. Wallside Windows pitching change. Numbers on Jimenez.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Line to the corner in right field. It's going to get down, go up against the wall. Gardner is on his way to second, and he dives in with a leadoff double. Second extra base hit of the night for Gardner.
Two-one count, fastball whistled off the gate in right field, 1 hopper. Nicholas Castellanos plays it perfectly off the wall, but Gardner hustling to second base with a head-first slide. Can't play the ball any better than this. Throw was just offline.
Here is Giancarlo Stanton. Ball one. Crowd back in it again. Stanton is over 2 with a walk. Way outside, 2-0.
And Rick Anderson's on that top step. Looks like he's ready to go out and talk to Joe if he throws a ball here.
In there, a strike right at the knee.
Ooh, Stanton. Ooh, not happy.
Stanton. Little mini fit. They've already had their manager thrown out.
They've been beefing with the home plate umpire all night long, Nick Lentz.
Phil Nevin comes running in from third base to get between the hitter and the umpire. Now he's going to turn around. Didn't want to see him toss. Strike call. That one down the middle. 2-2 on Giancarlo Stanton.
96 with that fastball from Jimenez. Painted on the outside corner.
Five 5-4. Tigers have the lead. Leadoff double by Gardner here in the 8th. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes at 97 on the outer edge. One gone.
He threw 2 really good fastballs to Stanton. One at 96, the other one at 97.
Now McCann out to the mound. Tying run remains at second with 1 out. Well, we hope you'll spend tomorrow afternoon with us for another Tigers-Yankees matchup. We'll begin our game coverage with Tigers Live at 3 right here on Fox Sports Detroit.
Jimenez must take at least a couple of looks at the speedy left fielder Gardner at second base. And Gardner has 13 steals. He's been caught once this year. Probably would not run with that left-hander up there, but if you forget about him, he'll take off.
Ball 1.
Yeah, that first delivery right there to Aaron Hicks. Jimenez took 1 look at Hicks, then turned and threw. Here's where you have to vary your look. Sometimes you have to look twice. Sometimes you have to look 3 times. But you can't get in the habit of looking 1 time, like right here, and then throwing the ball home when you turn back.
Hicks homered in the 6th to tie the game.
Gave him 2 looks that time.
2-0.
We talked about Gardner being patient. Hicks is pretty patient too.
Yeah, he's had what 30+ walks since the All-Star break.
That's the most in the majors.
31 actually, yeah. He is ahead 2-0.
Good pitch. Change up. I mean, he's down in the count, 2 balls and no strikes, and you can see Hicks was dialed in for that fastball in the mid-90s, and Joe ever so slightly pulled the trigger on him, and he got him out on that front foot. He couldn't pull the trigger.
Strike call. Now 2-2. Again, threading the needle on the outside corner with a mid-90s fastball.
All 3 of the hitters in this inning, Joe has been behind. 2 balls and no strikes. That is not usually a recipe for success, but Joe's doing okay up until this point.
Outside, that time he wouldn't offer. So it's 3-2 now.
Whew. Man, wonder what he's going to throw here.
I was about to ask you the same thing.
I go change up, I think. I mean, because Aaron can hit that fastball. I mean, he really can. But if you do go change up, you do run the risk of the walk, but you also might increase your chances in getting a swing and miss.
Walked him.
He went change up too. I'm not mad at that call right there.
It's going to bring out Rick Anderson.
And the reason why I'm not all that upset about that call is because now you've got a double play in order if you can get a ground ball. And with that being said, you still have to keep an eye on Gardner at second base.
Tigers took the lead on a sac fly by Ronnie Rodriguez to go up 5-4. Now a leadoff double and a one-out walk for the Yankees. And here is Miguel Andujar, the leader in the clubhouse for the Rookie of the Year award. He homered in the 6th inning to give the Yankees a brief 4-3 lead. Ball one. Nice smother there by James McCann.
In case you're wondering, Andujar has grounded into 7 double plays this year. 7 of them. We'll take number 8.
Andujar now with 23 home runs. Rookie of the month in June, when he hit 7 of his homers. Pulled foul.
And we were talking about that bottom half of the 6th inning when they connected for 3 home runs. It was Andujar who connected for the 3rd in that inning. It was a fastball inside at 92, and the youngster pulled his hands inside nicely and was able to keep that ball fair. Special talent with some really nice bat speed. Baby face.
Joe now will throw his 19th pitch of this 8th inning. Odd looking hack there by Andujar. Joe's got him shaking his head.
Yep. Joe still looking for the ground ball and get that double play. Alex Wilson, who pitched well last night, is in that Tigers bullpen, heating up rather quickly.
High, ball 2.
A lot of pitches for Joe. Seems like every time he goes out there, he throws at least 20.
50-50 tonight. 10 balls, 10 strikes.
And he was the Tigers' only all-star this season.
Swing and a miss to strike him out. Andujar is out of there. 2nd strikeout of the inning for Jimenez.
He punched out Stanton with a 97-mile-per-hour fastball, and he comes back to get Andujar with a real nice slide piece at 86. Sweeping breaking ball. It started right over the heart of the plate, and by the time Andujar started his swing, that ball was a foot outside. Got one more big out to get.
Luke Voigt is 0 for 3. Strikeout, 2 groundouts. Gardner is still planted at second. He let off the inning with a double, and now we'll get another mound visit. Game on the line here, and McCann going out to make sure.
This is going to be the 4th mound visit of the evening.
We were talking about Joe throwing a lot of pitches. This is 20 or more now in 5 of his last 6 outings.
Tigers have had 3 mound visits in this inning alone.
They've got 2 left.
Yep. I've never seen them use them all.
Ball 1. And again, Jimenez falling behind.
It's going to be very difficult for the Tigers outfielders to throw out Brett Gardner on a base hit. Everybody's playing deep. Everybody's playing no doubles depth right now, even with 2 outs.
Voigt homered last night, has 4 on the season. He was acquired in a deal earlier this summer from the Cardinals. One ball, 1 strike. Tigers 5 runs, 11 hits. Yankees have 4 runs on 5 hits with Wilson in the Tigers pen. Swing and a miss. 95 right at the belt. Ground ball, foul.
There has been a ton of balls hit off the bat today by the Yankees right-handed batters that have gone right down that third baseline. No wonder why Jamer Candelario was hugging that line tonight.
Yeah, he's been hugging it all night. And you just get the feeling one of these times going to hit that bag.
If it does, let's hope it goes right in Jamer's glove.
Now Joe a strike away. This will be his 26th pitch. High, ball 2.
Yeah, Yankees are making Joe work for this hold tonight.
Joe has thrown as many as 33 pitches in an outing here in the month of August.
Yeah, he struggled in the month of August. As you mentioned, his ERA is at 10.
Popped up back behind home plate, out of play. Should Voigt reach Gleyber Torres, the fine rookie waiting on deck? Ground ball again, foul, third base side.
And ball boy down there is getting a workout.
Sims started, went 6 tonight. Coleman came on and gave up a hit, but no damage in the 7th. And now Jimenez here in the 8th.
You might as well throw that slider. and get your strikeout. But make sure you get it down.
In the dirt.
Oh, goodness.
And blocked by McCann. He got it down all right.
He sure did.
Well, that creates a bit of a problem here. It's 3-2 now. Runners will be on the move.
Nice job there by James McCann. Well, a lot of times they say if you throw it 2 and 2, you can come back and throw that same pitch 3 and 2.
Here comes the crowd now. Here's the 3-2. And he walked him. Ball 4 did not go. That'll load the bases. Boy, and Jimenez now at 30 pitches. Oh, Gardy is upset with first base umpire Paul Nart. He's coming out to get Jimenez, it appears, and Nart none too happy. And he's gone. He just threw him out. So both managers have been ejected from the ballgame.
Gardy threw him out too, so he's got to go too.
Jimenez was walking toward Paul Nart, and his teammates had to stop him. Well, he's thrown out, so now he's going to continue the conversation with Nart. It was a really close pitch on that check swing by Voit. I know Joe thought he went around.
I thought he went around too. We'll get a look at it at some point in time. And Voit got a break there. Here's a look at it. Here's the side swing. Went too far as I'm concerned.
So Jimenez at 30 pitches.
So now both of these teams will be managed by the bench coaches. Steve Little will come out and make the pitching change now.
Gardy was on his way to do the same thing, but he was ejected. So the bench coach is running the show now. And Jimenez will depart the scene with the bases loaded, 2 outs. We'll be back. It's 5-4 Tigers.
Light hold true moment. This has been a very lengthy inning. Joe threw 30 pitches in the inning, as a matter of fact. Gardner started it with a double, and then there was a strikeout of Stanton. That was followed by a walk to Aaron Hicks, a strikeout of Andujar, and then a walk to Voit, and that's where we're at right now. The bases are loaded, 2 outs, and Alex Wilson is the new pitcher.
So Jimenez walked toward Nart as well. Here is Wilson now. He will face Gleyber Torres. Bases are loaded. Swing and a miss. 0-1 on Torres. Single and 3 at bats tonight. Torres facing his third different Tigers pitcher of this ball game. Line drive to left field, and it's going to drop and roll away from Montauk. This might score 3. They're going to try and get, no, they're going to hold the back runner at third, but the Yankees will take the lead. Voit was coming around trying to score, and Nevin gave him the hold sign. It's going to be a double for Torres and a 6-5 Yankees lead. And those two belong to Jimenez.
Solid single off the bat of the youngster Gleyber Torres. Mikey Montauk comes in, tries to make an outstanding play. The ball looks like it trickles off his elbow. And by the time the ball is picked up in the outfield, actually that ball hit Mikey in the head.
Wow.
And by the time that ball is picked up, a couple of runners are scoring.
They're calling that a single and RBI, second on the throw. Two RBI, single, 2 RBI, second on the throw. Yankees have a lead, and that look by Jimenez says it all. Second and third for Neil Walker. 2 runs in. Missing outside. 2-0 on Walker. Third lead change of the game. The 8th of the series already. And we're not even through 2 games. A clutch 2-out knock by Gleyber Torres. Now Wilson has to hold it right here. Way outside, 3-0. Robertson warming up in the Yankees pen. They'll just simply put him on now and go after Austin Romine. Intentional walk. Here's Romine. Ball 1. Struck out in his last at bat.
And a good fastball there thrown by Alex at 93 and threaded the needle on the outside corner.
Chopper up the middle. Ronnie bobbles, has no play. Another run scores. 7-5 Yankees.
I don't know if he'd have had a play anywhere, even if he fields it cleanly.
Huge run for the Yanks. They're up 2 now. It is a single and an RBI for Romine. And here's Ronald Torres, the 9th man to bat in the inning. They are loaded up. Middle chopper, third base side. Candelario scooping and throws him out to end the inning. Well, a whole lot happened here in the 8th. 30 pitches for Jimenez. A big check swing that might have been missed.
Should have been out of the inning.
And it's 7-5 Yankees. They did it a night ago. Why not tonight? David Robertson coming out of the bullpen. He'll try and close it down for the Yanks.
Well, he's had a history of closing down ball games for the Yankees and the Chicago White Sox. And pitching in his 57th game this year. .295 ERA for Robertson. And 74 strikeouts, 19 walks. He's got a cut fastball for the most part and a curveball.
First one is up top to Dawel Lugo, who leads it off. It'll be Lugo, Candelario, and Matuk.
And Robertson learned that cut fastball from the great Mariano Rivera. And when he was setting up for Rivera in the Yankee bullpen, when Rivera was still closing games for the Yankees.
Couple of defensive changes. Shane Robinson is in right field now. Walker has moved to third. In there is strike called, 1-2. There is Walker. Andujar is out of the game. Lugo 2 out of 3 tonight. And a base hit off the glove of Torres into left. Lugo, leadoff man on.
And first 3 hit a game of Lugo's young career, only his second big league game.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. Now here is Candelario. That's going to go to the backstop, and Lugo is going to go to second. Well, good start to this ninth.
None of the relievers today for the Yankees really have been all that effective. And Tigers have had runners on base and since Severino left.
Now we'll get a Yankee mound visit.
And they're down to 2 themselves.
They've used Holder, Britton, and Robertson out of their bullpen. One and one on Candelario.
And a nice little breaking ball there thrown by Robertson to get back into the count. And more pitchers are throwing changeups and breaking balls in 1-0 counts. They're not feeding these hitters fastballs.
Aroldis Chapman is their closer, but he is on the disabled list. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and Candy is gone. 1 away.
A hat trick tonight for Jeimer Candelario. 3 strikeouts.
Here is Matuk. Delivered a pinch hit single and stayed in the game in the 7th. Mikey can take it deep. He's done plenty of that here in the month of August. 5 home runs. Both managers have been tossed out of this game. Last time 2 managers were ejected from the same game was last August. Tigers Yankees. Steve Little now is at the controls of the Tigers. Mikey, oh man. 1-2. That ball appeared to be in tight. Matuk does not like it at all. It was a smidge off the plate. Here's the 1-2. Castellanos waiting on deck. Ground ball to third, foul. Norris and Tanaka tomorrow in game 3 of this 4-game series.
It'll be the first time Daniel has pitched in a big league game since April, at the end of April.
Three and 2. Big deep breath for Matuk. Tigers led 3-0, fell behind, went ahead, now they're behind again. Here's the 3-2. And he did not go. Ball 4. Matuk is aboard with a walk. Tying runs on now with 1 out. These Tigers are battling. Now you got Castellanos up there.
And Castellanos loves to swing at first pitches. If Robertson throws him a first pitch fastball, if it's close to the strike zone, no doubt in my mind, Nicholas will be hacking at it. And Nick for 1 for 4 in the contest with a run scored.
Strike one.
Victor Reyes is in the on-deck circle. He pinch ran for Victor Martinez in the 7th.
And Vimar's spot has come around again with Reyes lurking now. There's more action. There's Dylan Betances getting loose.
Didn't he throw 100 pitches last night?
I don't think it was quite that many. It must have seemed like it for him. Line drive foul. 1-2. Betances trying to loosen up that arm.
It's
probably
hard.
Creaking down there.
It sure is. They got Dylan Betances in that bullpen. He's about 6'8", 6'9" in the bullpen. Coach Mike Harkey is every bit of 6'8", too.
Swing and a miss, and Castellanos out on strikes. Robertson with 2 punch outs. Going to be up to Victor Reyes. Well, here's a moment for the young man to make his mark. He's got 2 on with 2 outs. Reyes saw his playing time cut in 2 when Jacoby came back off the DL and Matuk started hitting homers. Lugo at second. Matuk at first. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
Got to cut that swing down if you're Victor. You're not trying to hit a home run, just trying to put the ball in play. Nice line drive.
Ooh, now it's 0-2. Here comes the crowd. Robertson 1 strike away. Swing and a miss. He struck him out to win the ball game. And the Yankees come back to win tonight, 7-5, your final. Now we send you to the Coliseum Studios. John Keating, Tigers Live postgame.